What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily here, October 20th, 2022. Another full slate. That yesterday was actually phenomenal. I really enjoyed that New Orleans Pelicans game. Papa Dude, did you catch that game last night?
I didn't. I was following it. Boy, I did see the highlights. They look good. I mean, and they were great at the end of the year last year. You know, people might forget they took Memphis to the wire last year. Memphis was pretty dang good and playing really well.
Yep.
So with him added, look out. They are going to be tough.
Definitely a fun team to watch as well. They're ones when they're going to be on TV. I'm going to be excited to check them out. Aaron, I know you stayed up late to watch your Blues finish, or our Blues finish off the parlay for you and cash a nice little plus 126. They didn't look wonderful, but got the job done.
Yeah, it's interesting. The first game was the Florida game, and they kind of dominated the game, but only won 4-3. And you're like, we almost lost that thing, and that would have been bad luck. And then the Blues, I thought, played pretty poor for most of that game, and won. So that's just kind of how hockey goes. They're just a little bit better team than Seattle. Blues got 3-1, and even when they were ahead, they weren't playing great. They didn't really play well the whole game. They got to win, so that was good for us. Always good when you don't play well in the NHL and you win. Usually, that is not the case.
It was nice to see the overtime victory too. Something that's hampered the Blues in the past is those 3-on-3 overtimes where they've lost way too many of those games and given up some points. All right, I mentioned we have a full slate today. Going to talk NFL, NBA, going to talk a little bit about the Major League Baseball playoffs. I'm going to Keeneland for my best bets. We've got 4 hockey games as best bets as well. So let's kick this right off. Let's start in the NFL tonight. We've got a barn burner of a game, actually by far the best Thursday night game we've seen in 3 weeks now. We've got the New Orleans Saints traveling to the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona right now a 2.5-point favorite, and they've gotten positive injury news all week. Well, they get Nuke back off the suspension, so Hopkins will be back in this game, and it seems like the Honey Badger Matthew will be playing as well for them in the secondary. That's why this line has moved all the way up to 2.5. Papa, did you look at this one at all, or just pass on this puppy?
I'm glad that you're so into the NFL, Mike, because I don't look at this. I think this game is totally a dog. I mean, we have 2-4 teams. Okay, now if you want to say they're better than what we've seen, I'll go along with that. No, I'm not excited about this at all, except if New Orleans wins. Will Arizona fire Cliff Kingsbury? That's what I'm looking for tonight. So go Saints. Let's win and get him out of there, and maybe Kyler Murray and the Cardinals can start playing better.
Kingsbury minus 110 is the favorite for next coach to be fired. Excellent segue there. I agree. If he loses tonight, he's gone. They have three first quarter points all year. 3 in 6 games. He's an offensive genius with a quarterback he handpicked. And they have 3 points in the first quarter all season. Aaron, I felt like this one was almost unplayable from a side perspective. I would want to play Arizona, but man, I don't want to lay 2.5 with Kingsbury and Murray.
This is the worst game yet for Thursday night, in my opinion.
Come on. Bears Washington last week.
Okay, but this I have to watch.
Denver Colts the week before that.
I have to watch this. So this is the Cardinals. You're going to see some dumb stuff. Everybody's talking about Hackett, and he's terrible. And, of course, the guy at San Diego is terrible. This is the worst coach in the world in Kingsbury here. I'm rooting for the Saints just to hope that he gets fired because it's going to happen eventually. So you might as well get it over with, right? I mean, I can't believe he's lasted this long. Listen, the Cardinals should win the game, but how can you really get excited about the Cardinals? The Cardinals scored 9 points against Seattle. Seattle. Let me say it again. They scored 9 points against Seattle last week.
And the Saints scored 35, didn't they? 36, something like that?
Yes.
On Seattle.
I'm taking New Orleans in this game, by the way.
They put up 32 on Seattle. Yeah, this is one of those spots where it's just like, man, if not here, when? Because the Saints are just decimated by injuries here. You've got both of their starting quarterbacks with injured backs. Like literally one has broken vertebrae and the other one is coming off a back injury, Andy Dalton. It's going to be the Taysom Hill and Kamara game. I mean, that's the way they're going to be able to try and move the football up and down the field. Aaron, you hit the nail on the head. 9 points against Seattle. Bottom 5 defense. That is atrocious. Don't care where you played. That's really, really, really bad. I kind of like the under in the first half, 21.5 right now. I don't see these teams opening it up. I've mentioned how Arizona struggled to score in the first quarter. We do have a bet here from this game, so we're going to pull it up right now. Slim going to a player prop here, going to Hopkins over 61.5 receiving yards. He should get like 15 targets tonight. And if he gets the target share expected, this is a pretty low number. I was expecting this to be somewhere in the 80s. So I don't hate this one from Slim this week. I didn't love his Wentz pick last week, but you've got Marcus Lattimore, the Pro Bowl cornerback, out for the Saints. So you're getting a pretty soft secondary and a player that's going to get a ton of targets with Marquise Brown, who was the number one receiver in Arizona, out this week because of injury. Aaron, what do you think? Hopkins, big game tonight?
I mean, we're talking about a quarterback that just gets worse every week, right? And I don't know. Kyler Murray, rookie year, second year. Yeah, I'd say that's not going to be a problem at all. Kyler Murray right now, I really have no idea. I wouldn't bet anything Cardinal related in this game. So I can't say that I sit here and agree with it. Should he get over 61.5 yards?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Will he? They scored 9 against Seattle last week, so I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, what do you think's wrong with Murray? Do you think he's just not as good as we think, or is he just having issues with management, issues with the coaching? I don't know.
Aaron,
both a little bit. You can't say that he's a terrible player because we've seen him before, and at times he looks like an MVP type, or at least in that discussion. This year, he's looked completely uninterested from the start. He acts like he doesn't want to be there. He's just nonchalant about everything. So I think this year it's a guy that doesn't really want to be there, doesn't even really want to play. I think they've got to go another direction, whether it be get rid of him or get a new coach and maybe that breathes some life into him. He looks terrible this year.
And what happened over the summer?
Exactly. That's the whole thing, isn't it? Yeah.
He got his money. And part of the contingency in that contract was he needs to watch film. If that needs to be in your contract, which they eventually took out because he took so much shit for it, if that needs to be in your contract and your coach is lackadaisical and has trouble scripting early plays, and the best your offense looks is when you're playing backyard football in the second half, it's a preparation problem combined with the fact that he was just too talented at every other level, that he never needed to do anything that he needs to do in the NFL. He didn't learn how to study film. He didn't learn how to read defenses. And so now he's just relying on his natural God-given ability to be able to move the football up and down against NFL defenses, which are significantly better coached than his team. And it's a wave of bad energy there. And there's no way that Kyler alone is going to be able to bust out of it. I mean, if he goes and plays for someone like Belichick, this would be wildly different, because Belichick would like, you're watching film, you're getting here at a certain time and you're doing this. And Kingsbury just doesn't hold him accountable.
I mean, I guess he's the type you're going to have to demand it out of him. And like I said, if he goes over to a coach where you do that or you're gone, we would find out what exactly the problem is, because he would be gone. It's crazy how backwards this has went with him. Again, even this time last year, the Cardinals were undefeated, and people were thinking this guy could win the MVP, and it all fell apart, and hasn't come back this year. It has been a nightmare the last 15 games for the Cardinals or so.
Yeah. And the division's not even good. You know?
And the Cardinals went from undefeated and really good to non-competitive last year. If you remember the playoff game, that was one of the worst looking playoff teams I've ever seen last year. And I watched it with my own eyes deteriorate. They got to do something.
Yeah. It's not like they're devoid of talent either. I mean, Kyler Murray is talented. Hopkins is talented. Ertz is talented. Buda Baker is one of the best safeties in the league. They signed Matthew. I mean, there's talent all over this field. And it hasn't been wonderful for them. I tweeted an article from The Ringer about the Giants and their coaching staff specifically and what they've done to make Daniel Jones better. By the way, Daniel Jones, weeks 4 through 6, number 1 rated quarterback in the NFL. Just think like that. That's how much coaching can matter. They're running 32 personnel, 3 running backs, 2 tight ends, and motioning out of it to give Daniel Jones an easy read on every single play, because the defense has to react when you motion with that type of thing, and they give away what they're going to do. You don't see that from Cliff Kingsbury offenses. You don't make it easy when your player's not studying, and you don't make it easy for them. It's really hard to move the football down the field. All right,
you say these things out loud, and it's hard not to laugh. It's like, well, when a quarterback doesn't study during the week, it's like,
isn't that his job?
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I mean,
there are rumors that they sent home tapes with him with cartoons on them, and he would come back and say that he watched them, And it was game film. Let's say they come back. Yeah, I watched that game film. They would just send cartoon tapes.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just ridiculous when you hear stuff like that. I mean, I obviously don't know if it's true or not. It's a rumor, but the fact that rumor is even existent and then his contract was contingent on watching film is wild.
It is. Yeah.
Anyway, enough of this game. I will watch this game. I'll probably in-game bet it. I would want to bet the Saints plus the points, but I don't know, man. This is a mess. Let's go over to the NBA where I did place a bet tonight. First game on the docket in the NBA here. Bucks at the 76ers. Very, very good game. 76ers not able to get the job done first time out against Boston. Kind of a bad matchup for them here. I think this is another bad matchup. I took the Bucks plus the 4.5. Anytime I'm getting points with Giannis, I kind of like it. What do you think, Papa Dude?
Yeah, I'm the same. I almost picked it as my best bet. I almost did. It's the Sixers are good, so it's iffy. And but is this Milwaukee's opener? I believe it is. Yeah. If they had Middleton, he's still out. I definitely would have picked him. The thing with the Sixers, it all revolves around Embiid, and if he doesn't have a good game, they're not as potent. And they didn't play real well in the first game because Harden sat around, dribbled the dadgum ball out there like he does, and he had a good game. But I'm with you. I think the Bucks are going to win this one. I like the Bucks a lot.
Aaron, you look at this one at all?
These early NBA games, when it involves the Sixers, you just never know. They usually are pretty good early, and then they fall apart. It is a home opener for the Sixers. Philadelphia has kind of got some juice going with their teams right now for some reason. So I don't know. I would stay away from this one. I kind of think 76ers will play a good game tonight.
It is a good year in Philly right now. The Eagles, obviously, one of the big parts of that. And the Phillies still rolling in the MLB playoffs as well. The late game, Clippers at the Lakers. Clippers laying 5.5. Total sitting 222, I believe it is. 225.5. I kind of like the over based on the pace that the Lakers played in their first game of the season. LeBron probably going to go for the scoring title since they may not make the playoffs this year. Aaron, you mentioned you don't like early NBA games. This is another pass for you?
I passed on it, but it's kind of a train wreck already for the Lakers. There's already controversy going on. The Clippers simply are a better team as a whole. So, I mean, 5.5 points. I don't know. Maybe the Lakers keep it a little bit closer than that, but I don't know how you could bet the Lakers right now.
I've been to a lot of these games. These aren't real home games for the Lakers either. Both teams get to play in their locker room. There's no real travel. So the home court edge here is significantly lower, Papa Dude. You like the 5.5? You like the total?
I would take the Clippers, I think. I think they're better. I think the Clippers could be pretty darn good. Don't you? I like this one too. Justin Fields, I tell you, he's an honest man. Yeah. I like this.
We're just blowing up here. We got Justin Fields watching now. I'm sorry, man. I'm laying the 8 with New England on Monday night. Bet that now, by the way. If you want to bet, New England.
Yeah, I'm laying the 8. If he's watching us, he needs to be watching film. Right?
He's probably playing Call of Duty with Kyler. That just came out, right? We got all the Call of Duty jokes coming out here too. I love it. And so this should be an interesting game. I don't know if I'm going to watch the late game. It's on a little bit too late for me. I'm going to be honest. So I think we'll probably end up passing on that one. All right, let's head into the. We got one MLB playoff game. We got the Yankees facing the Astros tonight. Astros laying 140. Valdez versus Severino on the hill. Papa Dude, you want to talk a little bit about this Yankees Astros game?
Well, I really enjoyed watching Verlander last night. Once he got going, is he a craftsman or what? That guy is something else. What is he now? 39 years old. He's been pitching since World War II. I mean, the guy is just great.
COVID helped him. Taking that full year off for COVID, you got to think that helped him this year.
So, and once the Yankees didn't get him early, it was over. And Houston's fun to watch. I kind of like them. I do. They know how to win. And I know a lot of people. I heard a guy saying, "Well, those cheaters." What was that? Like 5 years ago, they were cheating. I mean, come on, get over it. I don't.
3 players left on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Quit using that as a knock against them. They're pretty good. That was a big win for them. I think they get another one tonight. I think they're a little better than the Yankees. I really do. So we'll see. I know Mattress, whatever his name is, he's hanging in there, isn't he?
$70 million. That's what he's got on the line here. If the Astros can somehow win the World Series, it'd be absolutely crazy if able to get it get there. Start betting it at 10-1, got it between 7 and 10-1. So Huge numbers there. All right, let's jump over to the best bets here. You guys are both going to the Moneyline Hockey Parlay, trying to keep that train rolling. So, Aaron, you went 2-0 last night on these. Tell us who you like tonight.
Yes, sir. Yeah. The best thing about playing these parlays is you watch these games, man. I love hockey. So it was great. Great night last night. Just hockey from 6:30 to midnight. All right. Today, we're going to go with the Bruins Penguins parlay on the money line here. I'll start off with the Ducks and the Bruins tonight. Ducks are struggling 1-3 on the year so far, not playing very well, not getting any goaltending whatsoever. The Boston 3-1, their only loss was when the backup goalie played. He did not play very well. This just seems like a pretty logical one. Even if the Ducks came into Boston undefeated, it's tough to go to Boston and win. They've got a good squad once again. They're going to be a playoff type team. So I like the Bruins. Not a whole lot to really explain there. They should just get the job done. Now, fast forward to the Kings and the Penguins. Another really good game tonight. Kings are 3-2 on the season. And Quick and Peterson have kind of shared the role so far in the net. Neither one of them playing very well. They've been able to win games because they're outscoring teams so far. So the Kings are 3-2, but they've got goaltending problems so far early in the season. Now, look at the Penguins. They're 2-0-1. Their only loss was when the backup played. Tristan Jarry back in the net tonight. I think Tristan Jarry will be able to control the Los Angeles Kings scoring. And I think defensively, Pittsburgh will be able to control them enough. I think that's the key. I think Pittsburgh's going to get 3-4 goals tonight. I think they'll be able to shut down Los Angeles enough to get a win if they do that. So Bruins, Penguins, parlay tonight in the NHL. We got plus 126, I think it was last night. We'll get plus 123 tonight. And hopefully Tristan Jarry will have a good game for the Penguins.
Yeah, Penguins is going to be the sweat. We'll see what happens every now and the Kings. Then the Kings can pop up and get it done. Papa dude, you got 2 more hockey games here going parlay as well. What do you like?
Okay. I love Aaron's attitude or his enthusiasm. It's like magic with the CFL.
Well, he actually likes hockey.
This is my sport. Yeah. I sit here and watch any hockey game.
Yeah.
I know these teams.
Yeah, he does. Kevin B mentioned Dusty Baker. How old is Dusty Baker? It seems like he's been managing since maybe because he played, he's been on the scene forever, hadn't he?
Well, how many teams has he won a World Series with too? The Giants and the Cubs for sure, right?
Did he win with the Cubs?
No, he didn't win with the Cubs.
Yeah.
No, he had Wood and all those guys prior and blew it.
He should have won.
Damn you, Dusty.
Yeah, the teams he's been with has been pretty good. And I would like to know how many toothpicks he goes through a season. He's always got a toothpick.
How does he not have like a toothpick sponsorship by now?
He should, absolutely. But you know what? He seems like a really good guy.
Yeah.
Then he really does. All right.
Horrible with young pitching. Really
yeah. He just seems like a really good person. And anyway, I don't even know what I went with. Okay, here it is. Well, okay. All right. There's 3 teams in hockey that haven't won a game, and we got 2 of them going at each other tonight in Minnesota, the Wild and the Canucks. Now, we know the Wild are a lot better than what they're playing. They're getting terrible goaltending. They are due to bounce out of it. I think they bounce out and win tonight against Vancouver, which is 0-3-1. I think they're better than that, too. But anyway, I like the Wild to bounce out of it tonight. That's the first part. And then I love Calgary. I love the way they play. I love their uniforms. I like watching them. And they got a pretty surprising team coming in there tonight in Buffalo. It's 1-2-1. And they played a little better last year down through the season. They were kind of a tough out. But I think Calgary gets them at home. So I'm going to go with the Minnesota Wild Calgary Flames parlay tonight.
Yeah, I like the Wild team total over. You're dead on. The goaltending hasn't been great, but the offense has been very good out of the gate. And the Flames, well, they lost a couple pieces, definitely reloaded pretty well here. I mean, you got
phone call, guys. I got to get this phone call.
All right, sounds good. Take care, Papa dude. Flames definitely reloaded there, adding Huberdeau and Kadri from Colorado and Florida, respectively. So do like me some Flames as well. I think they're going to have a pretty good, surprising season. Aaron, one other game I want to talk about tonight that I'm most excited for. Got the Carolina Hurricane traveling to Edmonton and facing the Oilers. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm not really sure who's going to win, but the Hurricane style should give the Oilers a ton of trouble. Did you consider touching this one at all?
Well, I have a phone call, Somich, so I have to go. No, listen.
All right, bye. So, no, okay.
That's right. What just happened right now? Who's calling him? All right. Yeah, this is a really good game. I'm going to watch, we'll try to watch. I was up late last night. Hopefully I can stay up late for this one as well, because it's going to be a good one. I feel like Edmonton's going to win. Just because it's at home. They need a win. They're not playing great so far. Carolina's 3-0. Hockey's kind of like baseball. Law of averages kind of get you through an 82-game season, and you lose one where it's like, Carolina was a better team maybe, but the Oilers were ready, and they really needed this one. So I went with the Hurricanes. The Oilers, I'm sorry. I didn't make it, a bet on the show, though, because Carolina's looked awfully darn good. And you're right. It's a contrast of styles. Can Carolina bottle them up? If they can't, they're going to get their ass kicked, right? If they can make them play the Carolina style of game, they're going to be tough to beat. But in the end, I did go with the Oilers minus the 110. Going to play that one pretty light.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one to watch, not one I'm probably going to bet. All right, let's close out the show here. I'm going to head to Keeneland after a nice winner yesterday. Going to go to the final race of the day, race number 9. I'm going to take the number 3 horse, Pure Pauline here. This is a 2-year-old filly by Curlin out of Keen Pauline. It's a very good horse in her own right. Stretching out to a mile and a 16th today after going 7 furlongs at Saratoga. Got bet down to a 3-1 favorite that day. Lost to Take Charge Brianna, a horse that I was decently high on. I think that Keen Pauline is going to be able to come back here and run well. I like the post from the 3 spot. You're going to have tactical speed. And I just don't think there's that much else in here. So I'm going to go with Keen Pauline 3-1 on the morning line here. I think we'll actually get around 5-2. Aaron, was this your top pick in the last?
Good pick. Now, it's Pure Pauline.
No, Pure, yeah. Sorry.
But there was a Keen Pauline, so I'll give you a pass. It's
Keen Pauline was the mother.
Exactly. Good pick. I think it's a good pick. This horse, very good breeding. Had some some hype on that debut race, like you said. Going to come back here and going to win. Good pick.
I like it.
Everybody wants to know what the phone call was, Papa Dude.
Yeah, seriously. What's more important than this?
I left my old truck to get it inspected today, see if it passed inspection, and it did. So it's a good day.
Now, was this really a phone call?
Yeah,
you needed to interrupt the show for today.
Yeah, I can't. I didn't know.
Close at 12:25. You can't call him back in 3 minutes.
Well, I could, but I would have left. I mean, I was afraid it was going to be bad news, and I was going to talk this guy out of this.
That's the worst news you could get from a truck inspection.
I had to fix something, and it cost $500. That's the last time that happened. Whenever I got that thing inspected, but
every time it's something like this, it's always about a car. Last time it was buying a car. This is a truck inspection. Papa Dude, you got to get these cars in line.
I found a guy here in town. He's a little sneaky, a little shady. That's okay. He's now passed 2 of my older vehicles. He did tell me I needed a wiper blade, which I did. He said, I'll pass it anyway. I said, nope, go ahead and put it on there. Just could put the cheapest one on there. So he did. So Manny has come through.
So is this a guy who passes it so you can get it re-registered?
No, I don't know. I don't know him, but he's a really good guy. And
why does it need to pass inspection?
What do you mean?
Every 2 years, you got to get your car inspected.
You don't have that in where you're at?
No, you got to get emissions inspection. But as long as your car is new enough, that doesn't matter.
Well, this is old, Mike. This is 2008.
2008's old now. Jeez, I guess it's 14 years old.
It's old. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still in great shape, but it seems to me like when your car gets older, they think they have to find something wrong with it. Even though, yeah.
So look at that. Here's a pro tip here. If you're in Missouri and you need a guy for car inspection, Papa Dude says Manny is your guy. We're not going to give out a last name. Don't want to get blown up here by the state of Missouri. But Papa Dude's got a guy named Manny.
Don't say his last name. Do not say it.
You can DM Papa Dude on Twitter to get a phone number if you're out there.
He's got a great. I just now found out his phone number when he called. He's got a really nice set of tattoos on his arms too. I like it.
Nice, I love it. Man, he's got some sleeves. I love it. It's always good.
Let me make one thing clear before we get off the air. That was not a black cat. She's brindle. But don't worry about it. Don't worry. I have no black cats. It's a brindle. I'm not jinxed. She's fine.
You won last night. You're good to go.
Yeah,
that's right. You're on a streak.
All right, let's go over the best bets of the day. Slim going with Hopkins over 61.5 receiving yards. Papa Dude going the Flames and the Wild Moneyline Parlay plus 113, and Manny for any car issues in Missouri. Aaron going with the Bruins and the Penguins Moneyline Parlay plus 123. And I'm going to head to Keeneland, race number 9, horse number 3, Pure Pauline, 3-1 on the morning line. Yesterday, 2-1, up $116 for the year, up $933, up $100 base bet. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back with Dudes Who Bet Daily tomorrow at noon with more best bets from around the horse racing and sports world. Good luck today.